What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be discussing Nano Dimension, ticker symbol NNDM. Their CEO has been pretty active in the media recently, and he has disclosed some pretty wild things that the company is up to, and these are 100% going to be moving the share price in the near future. I now have a price target on NNDM of at least $20 by the end of 2021, and we're going to take a look at some of the institutions that hold this company and what that means for the share price. So before we get into all of this information, if you guys enjoyed this video, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me get this information out to as many people as possible, and you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks and learn about a few new ones. So as you can see by this chart, NNDM has been on an absolute tear since about September. They went from the low $1.40 range all the way up to about $10 at its high. That is very insane. That's almost a 1,000% gain in shares of a stock. You don't see that very often, and that is some pretty huge gains. Now, usually when the stock goes up this much in a short amount of time, we typically see a pretty big pullback, but with NNDM, we really haven't seen that so far. It has only fallen around $1 off of the highs, which is a pretty good sign that investors have a lot of confidence in the valuation of the company at this price. They have also been very busy recently. They have been doing a lot of different capital raises through share offerings. So they just did their most recent one at about a price of $7.50 per American depository share because they're a company based out in Israel. The gross proceeds from the offering were approximately $250 million. Now that is pretty insane. They already had a lot of cash on hand. So investors were kind of wondering why they decided to raise so much more money. They actually have about $400 million worth of cash on hand right now, which is a pretty insane number for this company. So if you didn't know, NNDM's main product is its Dragonfly LDM. So it's the only technology in the world that uses digital files and 3D simultaneous printing of dielectric and conductive materials to rapidly produce high-performance, multi-layered electronic parts. Basically, what they can do is they can 3D print semiconductors. This company could actually get into the LiDAR space, so we could see a benefit off of NIO and Tesla. We also could see them start 3D printing drone parts at a massive scale, so we could see Amazon start to get into this as well. This company is absolutely insane. They're so ahead of the times right now. They're making technology that is going to be used in the future. Right now, the market is not that big for NNDM's products, but the CEO said in a couple of his interviews that this is going to be a $70 billion industry. So the CEO has been in a lot of interviews. Yoav Stern has been interviewed a lot on the media recently. We're going to take a look at some of the quotes that I have gathered from these interviews, and we're going to go over what they specifically mean. So in 2020, and in total pretty much, Nano Dimension has sold about 60 of its Dragonfly LDM products worldwide. Now, they're really expensive. They're about $100,000 to $300,000 per unit, and they're super efficient. They're really a cost-saving metric for all of these companies that are buying the Dragonfly product. Now, the CEO said in one of the interviews that they are preparing to sell hundreds of thousands of these machines in the coming years. Now, here is why. They're gearing up for mass scale production. So mass scale production of its Dragonfly system, and they're going to have the ability in these Dragonfly products to mass produce the electronics that they are currently putting out right now. At the current time, it still takes a while for these electronics to be 3D printed, but they are using all of the cash that they have raised to put it all into their technology and make sure that this system is as efficient as possible. So the CEO was asked the question, what are you planning on doing with the cash balance of about $400 million that you have right now? So he said that there are two things that they're going to be using this money for. One is acquisitions. Now, let's take a little bit of a farther look into what the acquisitions mean for NNDM. He said a couple of times in the interviews that he wants to monopolize this industry. He used those terms word for word. Now, that's a little bit dangerous because a lot of the time monopolies are not okay. They're very frowned upon by the governments. They want competition, and monopolies are usually not great. But He said word for word that there is no competition really right now for this company, and if any company gets close to the production level that they're doing right now, they will acquire them. Now, that's huge news. They've also said that if a company can work with them synergistically, they will also acquire them as well. So Nano Dimension has a lot of cash on hand to deploy, and we could see this cash being deployed at acquisitions and maybe mergers in the near future, maybe even in Q1 of 2021. The second thing that the CEO said that they were going to be using this cash for was accelerating product development rather than advertising. So he went into detail about how the market for these products, especially right now with the current world climate, is not super high. So what they're trying to do is make this product so unbelievably amazing that when the market for this product starts to pick back up, when everything starts opening up again and companies need to mass produce products at a higher level than they are right now, Nano Dimension is going to be ready to sell so many more of these Dragonfly LDM units that their valuation is going to go crazy. The CEO also said with the cash on hand right now, they have 5 to 10 years of cash reserves to deploy for capital expenditures, general corporate purposes. So Nano Dimension in general is in a very good position for the upcoming years. I don't think that this $9.19, $9.13 price point is anywhere near the high that NNDM is going to reach in 2021. Now, here's why I think that. Very specifically, if we come over here, we can see ARK's combined holdings of Nano Dimension. So back in about August, they started buying shares. They had 146,000 shares at a price of $1.76. Now, they really started ramping up their shares in October and a little bit in early November. So we can see that they went all the way up. They tried the dollar cost average, but really, as you can see by this share price, it just went absolutely crazy. 900 to 1,000% returns that ARK has received on this company. Their current shareholding right now is about 9.2 million. And as you can see by this little bend in the graph right here, that they just keep buying more. And it looks like if it continues on this trend, they're going to be buying at an exponential rate. Now, as we can see right here, this is also important because they are buying a lot of shares at the highs of this company. They bought about 1 million shares at the current high. So since ARK is an actively traded fund, they're not going to be buying a company at a price point that they don't think can go up really a lot higher in the future. And for this reason, I think that ARK's price target for NNDM is going to be between $15 and $25 for the end of 2021. Before they start selling off any of these shares. So with all of this news coming out right now, I think it's safe to say that NNDM is going to have an unbelievable year. If their CEO is saying that they're just going to keep buying out their competition and mass produce these products and get them to the technological level where they can mass produce electric circuitry, and we can see them maybe get deals with even NIO, Tesla, or Amazon, because they will be able to mass produce the electronic circuitry that those companies need for their parts. Nano Dimension is going to go so much higher. It's going to be insane. The returns on this company, I think, are going to be very significant in the future. Now, there's always some risk with companies like this. They're pretty new, and they're really not really out there in the market yet. But I think really a lot of people are going to start getting behind this company soon and follow ARK's lead. That's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this one, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and comment down below your thoughts if you're going to be getting into NNDM in the near future or if you're planning on adding to your position. I'll see you guys in the next video.